always a good time on the range.
Always a good time. So we got a couple new rifles here.
Yeah.
DD4 R3s from Daniel Defense. And, well, you got the 16-inch barrel. I got the 11.5-inch shorty.
Yep, also going to come in at 10.3 and a 14.5.
Right. And, you know, the big story here, at least in my mind, is the ambidextrous lower, right? So that's one of those things, like, you hear ambidextrous lower, and a lot of times people are like, well, you know, I really don't do that much shooting off. I'm right-handed. I don't need to shoot left-handed. I don't know anybody who's left-handed. I mean, really, who does?
Yeah.
But the beauty of having an ambidextrous lower like this one, you saw when I shot, I dropped my mag, and then instead of having to do this to lock the bolt to the rear, all I had to do is this. And so being just that simple change on an AR pattern rifle means whenever you've got malfunctions or whenever you want to clear a rifle out, it just got exponentially faster. So what Daniel Defense did is they put a bolt catch and a bolt release ambidextrous on the right side of the rifle. And you can see how they integrated into the forging, right? A lot of times when people say, hey, we've got an ambidextrous AR lower, there's a bunch of claptrap hanging off the side.
A little bit of a bolt-on.
Yeah, and it's a snag hazard, and then there's other problems associated with it. So you've got your magazine release where it is, and then they've integrated into the forging right here. And then if you roll it over on this side, you've got the bolt catch, bolt release where you would normally find it, but then you've got an additional mag release. Now, one of the things that they did with the forging here is you'll see this fence. Huge deal, right? Like a lot of times we're like, well, it's got an ambidextrous mag release. Well, again, it's a chunk that hangs off, and when you sling it and it sits against something hard like body armor and your buddy bumps it, your mag goes, and that's no bueno. We don't want to see that.
No, you don't want that incidental contact mag release. It's embarrassing, frankly.
Yeah.
So I know you're pumped about the ambi lower end for good reason, but the other big news about the DD4 R3 rifles is, of course, the integration of the RIS III Rail system. So kind of we know Daniel Defense for its RIS II system, rigid. It helps free float the barrel. You can mount your grenade launcher if you have one.
Yeah.
And of course, you've got all the room in the world with that quad rail style design to mount your accessories, whether it's topside in terms of thermals or IR lasers, or anywhere around, you know, the 4 points of the compass with fore ends, lights, lasers, anything like that.
Right.
But here, a much more modular design.
Right, and so, you know, RIS II, the SOCOM's been shooting that thing for about forever, right? So the RIS III, the difference is we went away from pick rail to M-lock, but we retained it bolts up to the same plate. So if you've got a RIS II and you're feeling left out, don't worry, the RIS III will bolt right up to it. All it takes, there's 6 bolts, you pull those out, RIS III bolts on, tighten everything back up, you're in business.
Yeah, so don't worry, Daniel Defense has got you, baby. Right now, the RIS III rails are only available in the DD4 R3 rifles, but you can be sure that the rails themselves are going to come as an aftermarket accessory anytime now.
And again, that's one of those things, it's just a sweet rail, M-lock, and again, if you've got some type of underbarrel device, you know, like a grenade launcher, and 37 millimeter is, I think, totally kosher for the for the commercial market. You can totally get down with that if you want.
You know, talking about hanging a bunch of stuff off the front of your rifle, you had all that real estate with the RIS II system, but you actually get even more with the RIS III because it's not just the quad rail. Now you've actually got the angled flats here as well. And they've also included a integral QD mount for your sling, so a lot more versatility there. Just, you can really set this up any way you want.
And so whether, you know, you're gonna nerd out over the handguard or you're gonna really appreciate the lower receiver, and to me, that really is just, it's so nice to finally have a readily accessible with the right forgings, ambi lower, because everyone benefits from that. But anyway, you should definitely check out the Daniel Defense DD4 R3 line of rifles.